you're gonna buy a bike? Are you crazy? That's not how dangerous riding is. Well, since you're gonna do what you want anyway, go ahead, stay tuned, and we'll cover the basics. Alright, well, the first thing, of course, is going to be the bike itself. We all know you gotta buy a bike to buy a bike. Your reasons are your own. If you're buying a bike to get laid, bro, you have to have some game to begin with. So don't buy a bike to get laid. But if you want freedom, you want to have fun, there are things to consider besides the price of the bike. You can spend anywhere from nothing because somebody gave you a bike to the sky's the limit. So let's go over something besides the cost of the bike, because that's not going to help you here. There are other things above and beyond your initial cost of buying a bike that you need to consider when you are budgeting. The first of which, and I'm not going to go heavy into detail on this, and I'm not going to be a fucking gear Nazi, but you're going to need some gear. I will cover in-depth gear at a later time, but for now, let's just say most states require a helmet, so you need a helmet. That's your minimum gear. Aside from a helmet, which is required by, I'd say, most states, let's go over the other items, and I will cover gear cost and quality later on. But for now, let's just worry about what I would recommend other than a helmet. I always recommend a riding jacket to people. Look, if you have an off, and especially as a new rider, there's a good chance you'll have an off. This will save you a lot of pain, because I can tell you, road rash sucks dick. It's hard to even take a shower with road rash. That shit burns. Now, to cover the road rash as well, your hands. You need your dick beaters to ride a bike. So if you have even a mild off, there's a good chance you're gonna skin up your hands. Since you need them to ride, protect them. Get some gloves. Jeans or riding pants. I don't wear riding pants, I just wear jeans. They're not the most protective things in the world, but they're better than shorts. I would recommend just a decent set of boots. They don't have to be riding boots. I actually wear riding boots. Even if they're not, at least just have like a decent pair of like work boots. It's going to be a lot more protective than your tennis shoes are. And a quick story on that, when I wrecked my bike, this bike actually, when I laid this bike down at 45 miles an hour, I skinned up my jacket, I skinned up my gloves, I skinned up my boots, I walked away with some bruising. And I was able to ride. Actually, I rode my bike home. I rode around for another hour before I went home. So, yeah, without the gear, I doubt I was riding home. Trust me, I would have been fucking skinned up. Again, just plan these things into your budget. The other thing, and it seems absolutely retarded to even have to mention, but consider the gas that you're going to use up. When you first get a bike, you're going to want to ride the shit out of that bike everywhere, all the time. So just, I mean, as like I said, as stupid as it sounds, prepare a gas budget. Have like at least $100 or $200 sitting aside to just burn through just for petrol. Is that a brand new CBR? I look like a brand new CBR. I want it. I'm gonna go fucking rob this guy. We're right back, guys. Oh, wait, no, not on the CBR. Oh, wait, yeah, I am. Not on the new CBR, so, yeah, that didn't work out for me. Okay, so other than your gear and your gas, insurance is an obvious one. Not all states require insurance. Alabama does require it. Like, I know Florida, if you're wearing a helmet, you don't have to carry any insurance. You have full coverage and you have liability only, you have comprehensive, you know, you've got a zillion and a half different options, but depending on the country you live, the type of bike you're buying, everything else, it's going to vary. I personally carry liability on my bike only, and the reason is it's like $1,700 a year or something like that for my bike just to insure it with full coverage. So honestly, in the 4 years I've had this bike, I mean, at basically $2,000 a year, I could have bought this bike 2 more times. Not to mention the only time I would have used it when I laid this bike down, it would have jacked my rates up. Yeah, so again, insurance, if you're on a bike that's financed, some finance companies will still require full coverage. Others do not. So I pay $75 a year for liability on my bike. It keeps me legal, and I pay a year in advance. The last bit of your budget, I'm going to cover very lightly, because this is stuff that's going to go more into the topic of when you're going to buy a new bike, or a used bike I should say. When you go to buy a bike, these are the things you need to look for, and this will kind of fall into the budget as you're looking. Just the initial stuff, brake fluid, see what color that shit is, because that's something that I change out every time I do a new vehicle, or a new bike I should say. Oil change is a necessity, oil filter, and the drain bolt sealing washer. Other than that, you got to take a look at the chain and the sprockets and the tires. Again, that is situational. So some bikes will come with a brand new chain, sprockets, maybe even tires on it. It's hard to say. But yeah, just make sure that's in there as well. Just your initial, what I call initial maintenance items, or initial, you know, stuff you want to do to a brand new, not brand new bike, but a new to you bike. Yeah, essentially just make sure you got these things planned into your budget. Again, I'll go into the worn out items in the more in-depth video of when you go to buy a bike. So that's it for now. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned to this series, because I've got more coming for it.